So here I will be doing a reflection on one of the first assignments that we did over this course, which was an annotated bibliography. And I chose the topic of the effects of bullying in U.S. schools since I am an education major and will be going into the education field, and felt like this is a good topic to talk about because it is broad enough to where people know what this is, at the same time it brings in those specific topics or subtopics that people might not understand the specifics of those effects of bullying in schools, especially in U.S. schools if people are from other places around the world. So I provided a link for my final annotated bibliography along with it being down at the bottom. I also provide the first draft and my final draft, which anyone can go through. It is open to show some of the revisions that I made and how I decided to go about each one, which is also talked about in these overall revision process and summaries that I provided as well. So I will kind of go over everything that I did and how I grew to where I am for my final annotated bibliography. So in this top paragraph, I talked about how I got to the final annotated bibliography along with just the overall process, talking about how I looked into the online library data to search my overall topic, which was the effects of bullying. I just put it into the Google Scholars and the online library data for Appalachian State and see what came up. And I wanted to make sure that they were scholarly and that they were of date, and that is what I realized after my final revision, because at first the first couple were not of the timeline that it needed to be. So I started with 3 sources that I located for my initial draft, and then another 4 sources that totaled to all 7 sources altogether, which I feel have a good understanding of the different types of effects, which goes with students, principals, teachers, parents, victims, the bully, all of it. It goes over. I have a wide variety of those so that I'm able to get all sides, which I wanted the overall topic to be about. And then after finding these different types of effects and sources, with that I produced summaries to make these main ideas that fit with my overall sources, and created those annotations, which is talked about down here. I started with my first draft where I did not focus on much of a specific not long or lengthy. I did not want that. I wanted it to be informative, but I did keep it very short. And so I made those revisions into my final draft. As you can see, they're very short and did not provide too much information, but gave the basics. And so for my final overall, here's the same draft source, but in the correct format, and gave more lengthy information, which I talk about needing in-text citations and some quotes, and being able to have the correct APA source formatting, which I had struggles with capitalization and punctuation. And after receiving feedback and being able to get specific instructions, I was able to make that switch. For instance, I had quotation marks around here, and in here you're not supposed to have them. Again, they're throughout my sources. You can see the changes that I have made, which specifically my sources that I chose were needing to change the overall APA formatting, which was another revision that I made. So I feel fairly confident that I was able to address that all that I needed in my annotated bibliography, and feel that it shows a variety of sources that fit to my topic in the correct format, and gives specific formatting suggestions. I feel that I made those revisions that were given to me, of making sure that I'm specific with the in-text citations are correct, and adding link to where I need to, adding more information. And so I feel fairly confident that my final draft achieved what it needed to by providing information on the effects of bullying, and allowed people to, or readers, to go to the sources, the correct sources that are with my annotated bibliography.